the steps that you need to take if you want to do a smart financial plan can be summarized by the acronym CDRW. So sa mga ka-generation ko na nakaabot pa ng CDRW o yung mga compact disc rewritable disc, no? Dati dyan nagsisave, hindi pa uso yung mga flash drive noon. Ayan. So CDRW, which simply means cash management, debt management, risk management, and wealth management. So kung gusto mo mag-ayos ng pera mo, you need to look at 4 aspects: cash, debt, risk, and wealth management mo. So I will give you a preview of what you need to do for each of these areas on your personal finance or for each of these pillars. So let's start with cash management. Basically, ito yung pag-handle ng pera mo. Alam mo dapat kung magkano yung pumapasok sa'yo at mas importante na alam mo kung magkano ang lumalabas sa'yo at saan sila pumupunta. Basically, it all starts with tracking your expenses. That's the most basic step in doing cash management, to know exactly where your money is going. Importante sa cash management ang pag-establish ng habit of saving. That's why the best way to save money is to automate it. We follow the formula, the savings formula, which is income minus savings is equal to expenses. Kung pwede nyong ipa-auto-debit sa banko ninyo, better. Kung gagamit kayo ng mga apps, may mga banking apps na pwedeng gumawa ng auto-debit ng particular amount towards a separate savings account, that will be better. But if you do establish the habit na ikaw mismo manually kang nagsiset aside ng a certain portion, pwedeng percentage or pwedeng a fixed amount of your income towards a separate savings account, then that will also work. The last aspect of cash management is to follow a budget. So syempre, pag dumating na yung sweldo, nag-set aside kayo ng certain amount towards savings, yung natitira, dapat alam din natin siyang i-budget. And following a budget takes discipline, kailangan ng konting willpower until maging habit siya. And once you're able to do it, mas mabilis, mas madali, mas magiging effortless and painless siya. And slowly, I guarantee you, you will feel na mas gumagaan yung ating pag-manage ng pera. You will feel less financial stress. Always review your personal finances regularly. Kasi hindi masyadong nararamdaman kaagad yan, pero nag-iiba-iba yung pinagkakagastusan natin. And mas maganda if we are developing a bad spending habit is to catch it early on. Nakikita agad natin sa simula pa lang na, teka, parang napapadalas yata yung pagpapadeliver ko ng pagkain. And because of that, tumataas yung food expenses ko. So, dapat maaga pa lang makita mo na agad yung early signs of a bad spending habit na pattern, because that will really help you manage your cash. What is the secret to consistent saving? Kung gusto nyo talagang tuloy-tuloy ang pag-iipon ninyo, then you have to make saving money accessible and effortless, which is pinakamadali talaga dyan, yung making it automatic. May auto-debit ka para hindi mo talaga siya iniisip, no? One thing that you can also do is to tie it to an existing routine or make it automatic. And don't worry if all you can save is just a small amount, because even small amounts will add up over time. So kung ang nasi-save mo ay 100 pesos a week, okay lang yon, 100 pesos pa rin yon, 400 pesos pa rin yon a month. The important thing here is kung maging habit mo na siya, naging habit mo na mag-save ng 100 pesos a week, then probably you can challenge yourself na, okay, next month gawin kong 500 pesos a month. Diba? So, which means 125 pesos a week. Diba? O tapos, sabihin na natin, gawin natin 300 per week. Gawin natin 500 a week. So, unti-unti mo siyang tinataas kung ano yung comfortable sa'yo. Hanggang sa ma-reach mo yung point na mukhang ito sagad na to na kaya kong i-save. And you'll be surprised na 2-3 years will pass, bigla kang magugulat, ay, ang laki na ng savings ko. The second pillar of financial planning is debt management. Ano ba yung difference ng iba't ibang klase ng utang? So not all debt is equal. There is good debt, there's bad debt, and there's ugly debts. And sure to say, you should only acquire good debts. Ano yung difference ng tatlo? Good debts, ito yung mga utang kasi ginamit mo yung pera sa isang bagay na importante. You use the money so that it will increase your cash flow. I know someone na nag-swipe ng credit card kasi nag-enroll siya sa isang freelancing course to learn a new skill on how to be an online freelancer, which will eventually later on help him to earn extra income online. So yung kikitain niya sa freelancing niya, sa pag-online freelancer niya, that would probably be the money that will pay for that debt. So that is definitely good debt. Yung bad debt, ito yung mga utang na kung saan ginamit mo yung pera sa isang bagay na hindi naman importante. Nag-swipe ka kasi feeling stress ka, gusto mo magbakasyon kahit na alam mo na you cannot afford to buy plane tickets, di ba? Kahit na ba seat sale yan, pero kung out of budget siya, that is considered bad debt. Ano yung ugly debt? Ugly debt is bad debt tapos yung pera na inutang mo, kinuha mo pa siya sa mga high interest rate, no? Sa mga online lending apps na napakataas ang interest rate or sa mas popular na 5-6, no? So, ugly debt siya kasi ginamit mo yung pera for something that is not necessary or non-essential. Tapos, doon ka pa talaga umutang sa napakataas na interest na financial institution or sa high interest lender. So, mga informal lenders ka pa talaga humiram ng pera. So, that's ugly debt. So before borrowing, you should ask yourself, do I really need this now? Kailangan ko ba talaga ngayon to? So there are necessary expenses na hindi naman ganun ka-urgent. I would say na try to delay. If it is really urgent, then go ahead and borrow money for that necessary expense. How will this debt affect my budget and cash flow? Hindi ka lang dapat utang ng utang, dapat tinitingnan mo paano niya maapektuhan yung budget mo. Diba? Kasi syempre, kapag umutang ka, yung normal na budget mo sa cost of living expenses mo, maapektuhan. Saan mo kukunin yung pambayad niyan monthly? Ano yung babawasan mo? Babawasan mo ba yung food mo? Babawasan mo ba yung transportation expense mo? Sabihin na natin na, kunwari, nagtataxi ka papunta sa trabaho, kailangan mo magtipid, so MRT ka na lang or magbabas ka para may pambayad ka dun sa uutangin mo na pera. So, you have to work your budget and see saan ka makakapagbawas ng gastos para meron kang pang bayad monthly dun sa uutangin mo. And more importantly, you ask yourself, will this provide long-term benefits to my life and finances? Especially kung mag-enroll ka ng course or meron kang asset na bibilhin, you have to ask, will this provide long-term benefits for me? Next pillar of smart financial planning is risk management. And among all the 4 pillars, I think this is the easiest to implement because all you need is to have an emergency fund. Make sure that you have an emergency fund. You have an HMO or a short-term health care or health insurance. And then, if you are a breadwinner, you should have life insurance. So remember that life is full of surprises. Kaya mas maganda na prepare tayo financially. Among these 3, your priority is building your emergency fund, which starts at around 6 months worth of your expenses. Alam ko medyo malaki yung 6 months worth of your expenses, but tiyagain nyo na. If you're an employee, know all the benefits of your HMO. If not, get a prepaid HMO or ask the nearest hospital or clinic sa inyo kung ano yung mga HMO na tinatanggap nila and ask kung magkano yung or kung meron silang product na nagki-cater for freelancers or someone who doesn't have a regular job, no? They do have products that cater to those. So at least may peace of mind ka kung magkakasakit ka, pag masama yung pakiramdam mo, hindi ka kailangang mag-hesitate sa pagpunta sa doktor kasi covered naman usually ang doctor's consultation if you have an HMO. And lastly, if you're a breadwinner, if you have financial dependence, then you should have life insurance, which I'm very sure just approach a friend na financial advisor from an insurance company and they will help and guide you in how much life insurance that you should get. The last pillar of personal financial planning is wealth management. Kailangan hindi lang tayo marunong mag-save, hindi lang tayo marunong mag-manage ng utang at ng risk, but also we should learn how to grow our money through investments. But the cardinal rule here is you should never invest on something that you do not understand. Kung hindi mo kayang i-explain ang isang investment sa ibang tao, sa kaibigan mo, then you should probably not put money into that investment. Dahil kahit na legit yung investment, kung hindi mo siya naiintindihan, mataas yung chance na malugi ka, magkaroon ka, you commit a mistake and lose money because you did not fully understand how that particular investment works. Marami akong narinig na feeling nila sugal lang ang stock market. Marami akong narinig na nagagalit sila sa stock market kasi nalugi sila. That's because most of the time, they do not understand how the stock market works. Bumili lang sila kasi nakita nila yung chismis sa online na maganda daw bilhin tong company na to, so binili nila without really knowing the fundamentals and the technicals of that company. So, later on, na-realize sila na lugi sila, not because they invested in a scam, but because they did not know what they were doing. They did not have a sound investment strategy when they started. The best way to know when to sell or how to set yung price kung kailan mo ibebenta yung investment mo is when you have goals. So, more often than not, your financial goals will be the ones who will dictate your investment strategy. So, always invest based on your goals. And of course, it will really help to manage your risk if you can diversify your investments. Huwag mo ilagay lahat ng pera mo sa isang bagay lang. I have a friend na talagang binuhos niya lahat ng pera niya sa real estate market kasi ang taas-taas ng real estate market during the Pogo era dito. But recently, ang daming ipit sa kanya na properties, hirap siya mag-liquidate. Diba? So, kasi hindi siya nag-diversify, lahat ng pera niya nasa real estate. So, financially stressed siya ngayon kasi ang hirap i-dispose ng mga ibang properties niya. So, it's always good to diversify. Meron ka real estate, meron ka stocks, may mutual funds ka, may bonds ka, and if you can, you even have businesses. So, diversify your investment para ma-manage yung risk. Personal finance is personal. Hindi mo kailangan gayahin yung investment portfolio ng ibang tao. Define your goals first, then let your goals dictate your investment strategy. And if you feel na, bakit ganito insura yung investment portfolio ni ganyan? Sabi nung kaibigan ko, dito siya naka-invest. You will be able to avoid the temptation to copy where others are investing if you were able to come up with your investment portfolio based on your personal goals. Okay? So, personal finance is personal. So, those are the 4 pillars of smart financial planning. I hope you were able to get a few tips or valuable lessons that you can immediately apply sa personal finance niyo.